Good. It's good evening. Oh, I'm turning invisible. There you go. Good evening and thank you. Good to see you all three of you. Great. And sorry for the delay. That is a circumstance of the kids being here. My daughter ends ballet at 8 o'clock, and I have to pick her up in a nearby town. So I have to race there and come back. And well, that makes it 8:30 before I can tune back in online. So that's how it is. Raker, thank you for the 22 months. Already raking in those subs. And we haven't even started yet. So, I don't want to do a long intro today, but I have realized something. Something significant. I have realized why people watch my videos. So I was thinking about, since we are going to be playing Sekiro Shadows Die Twice tomorrow, then I thought, you know what? I just need to familiarize myself, like just get a sense of what are the zones, what are the areas, what does it feel like? There must be someone who has made a really high quality, nice, relaxing walkthrough where you can just chill and have it in the background while doing something else. There is. I did. So I ended up watching, like, I don't know, skimming a few of them and then watching some other ones and then ending up not doing what was on the other screen because I was sitting there watching my old video for 2 years ago, and it was just really nice and enjoyable. And I was like, I think I get it. I think I get it. And I look at it and they barely have, most of them don't even have 1,000 views, and it's good fucking content. Of course, it might not be the first Let's Play or first walkthrough, but it's pretty high quality gameplay. It's well structured. There's lore explanations. There's combat explanations. There's a guide on you can go this way or that way, and there's explanation of all the mechanics and all that stuff. It's just really nice, high quality. Yeah. Do you ever conduct your Factorio masterclasses? No, because my Factorio masterclasses are very much sort of distilled into a blueprint. So when I look at the blueprint, I know what it does. Then I don't need to sort of go through it, because most of my masterclass is getting to that blueprint, and the product is the blueprint. And good evening, Garantio. And Sepharhash, thank you for the 35 months. Much appreciated. Yeah, so I think this... I think I've... Now, granted that I looked at something that was not popular, which is bad because you draw the wrong conclusions. Because I looked at it and go like, fucking hell, this is good. But according to all the relevant metrics, it was not good. Because it was... not only was it not getting views, it was also dragging down my channel by having 35 episodes of 35 videos uploaded to my channel that decreased the visibility of my channel quite significantly. I remember that. It sucked. So that's a challenge in and of itself. But I thought it was really enjoyable to make, and now it's also enjoyable to watch. Yeah. So, and I think that might be some of the stuff that I offer, like just something nice to have running on the second screen. And sometimes you don't pay a lot of full attention to it, and sometimes it's nice to tune in and actually pay attention. So I think that the thing is, like, it was just really nice listening to it, and I didn't even sort of feel any I don't know, any sort of cringe about my own voice 2 years ago or how I did it. I was like, this is pretty good. This is really nice. Have you thought about getting back into Horizon, as Horizon 2 will come out? Horizon? What Horizon? Horizon Zero Dawn? What Horizon? I didn't enjoy the gameplay. I thought it was, I don't know. I found the storytelling really bad. I think that's the long and short of it. I like some part of the combat, but there was something about the combat that there was something about the entire gameplay loop that it was almost, but it wasn't quite there. Like, they were good quests, but they were boring. There were really intricate ideas about shooting off different segments on on monsters and different weapon types, but it got a little bit convoluted, in my opinion. So it was like, okay, now I need to use a shock grenade here to have it walk over, and that will loosen that plate, and then I can use a fire to trigger that, which we're gonna. No. It was like, it's a good idea, but it's. I like when it's like, piercing weapons don't work on skeletons because, doesn't work. Fine, I can figure that out. That kind of thing. Then I like that level of depth, but this whole thing was just 10 different damage classes, 10 different ways of setting up traps and weapons, and they were also different, and plating, and it was all unintuitive, and then it became a little bit too much for me. So there was one of those, like, it was really close but not quite there. And then the NPCs were just, they were not even close to there. It was just so annoying, so annoying. And that's why I don't. None of those things have changed, and that was the core gameplay of it. Like, I love the world, and I love the idea of these dinosaurs, and also I like the lore, the core lore of the game, but all the other crap was just nonsensical. So I don't think I am. I don't see I want to return to that. So your PC port is coming soon. Yeah. I don't know. I was at no point really captured by it. I remember that. I remember, like, okay, we just have to get it going. 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 Okay, it's not going to get any more going than it is. This is it. So I honestly think that it's only going to get worse. Now, I don't know, but those are the kind of things that are getting worse. Like, a good way for me to know that a game is not worth playing, if they brag about how many voice lines they have. That's like, that's a shitty metric. That's like a metric for a programmer bragging about how many lines of code he has written. Like, you just wrote bad code. Like, more dialogue does not make better dialogue. That just means more dialogue. That's and I'm not saying that's what they do, but that's definitely what they did in Horizon Zero Dawn. It was like handing in a simple kill 5 things was like a, I don't know, an odyssey on descriptions and back and forth. Like, well, and these pelts, they are really core to our tribe. Oh, are they core to your tribe? Yes, they are. It goes a long way. Let me tell you about the story. It's like doing an interview with Putin. You don't get a word in. You're just gonna sit there looking like an idiot for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So, and that was every single quest. So now I think I don't think that's gonna get better. Do you still make Captain of Industry content? Nope, not now, because there's nothing new. When there's something massive, new, awesome, or something, then I'd like to go back to Captain Industry, because I really enjoy that game. But if I return to it now, it's not going to be at all different from when I played it last time. Yeah. I like writing negative lines of code. Yes, that is good. Except for the people who need to review all your convoluted, nested crap. That is super generic and only you will understand it. And you save lines of code by not commenting it. Yeah. Just go in, remove all comments. I don't think, no, that doesn't count as code lines, right? Just deleting that shit code. Delete it, and then just, I have no idea what this code does. Just comment it out and just check it in and go, all right. If someone needs it, we'll hear from him. So, anyway, we'll have a shorter talk. But anyway, I thought it was interesting to sort of share why I can understand some of the appeal for some of my videos. is that chill, knowledgeable, and sort of yeah, just walk through, whether it's in Pictorio or it's in Sekiro. Anyway, or maybe even in Dyson Sphere. Ta-da! There we go. And oof, that's a lot of windows open. Maybe I don't need DaVinci open right now. There, good. Do we think it's just continue? It's probably just continue. Fine from the DSP content. That makes sense. A lot of people did. Welcome. So you had a first comment. Right. So what were we doing? We have no idea. Oh, look at that. Well, that's kind of also a thing. Oh, these are assembling, but they're not actually doing anything. That's good. So that means we are somewhat getting less attacks in on this one, because we don't need those attacks in. We have way too much already, and now it's time for also disabling one more thing. This is something else. That's peculiar. Why? So we are crafting some, but maybe it's because it's local demand. I don't want that. I don't think this should be exporting organic quantum chips. Don't think so. That doesn't make any sense to me. Users are introverts. When the lack of screaming is either from lack of monitoring on the other side, but suddenly some key metric drops, or if nobody screams because nobody knows who to scream at. And yes, we lived through both cases. Yeah, it's also like maybe it was the life support you turned off, and they can't scream because they're dead. That's another option. Albeit a rather dramatic one. I don't want these here. They are annoying. If it's constantly assembling, there should be a thread building on the hive. No, they're constantly assembling because they don't have any energy. So they reach the point where they trigger an attack, but they can't form the attack force, and then they get stuck there, and then maybe it takes a really long time for them to build up the force, or they just abandon it after a while. That's why. That should do the trick. H-Bond, thank you for the 15 months. Good to be back again. Good to have you back. Happy that I have earned your return. Between these high rises here. Must be quite windy in here.
Our illustrious champion returns. Welcome home.
And Irunian, thank you for the 15 months. And then it just seems silly that this is not actually set up. But this is the bigger issue. It's not really stacking up. Well, it's stacking up a little bit. go. And these are coming in. They will be deployed immediately. We turned off some prices. Because we thought some other team had implemented a replacement service. But it turned out they did, but never connected it to the correct event. When we turned off our process, as we before, weeks later, SEO was knocking at our door because they finally figured out why Google dropped significantly. Ah. Yep. Ah. Yeah, but sometimes, yes, that happens. Other times, you're in the other position of you built something. And I remember something that was like absurd estimate for, and it was, I think it was like 2,000 hours of development to be delivered within 2 months or something like that. It was absolutely absurd, and I knew it, and it was from a vendor, and they were like, you know, it can't be done. I was like, I know it can't be done. We know it can't be done, but finance and insisted that this was both needed and worth paying for and everything. And then they built it, and they threw everyone they had at it. Not that they needed it, but fuck it, might as well do some improvements to the code, anything that they could sort of throw at, so just to rake in the hours, so we would, so it looked like it was on that change. And then half a year later, the product manager came back to me and said, oh, by the way, I've this essential function that must work in a certain way. It's been used 2 times over the last half year. So, you know, it probably wasn't worth it. Like, yeah, fucking hell. That was like, don't tell anyone. Let me put that in my back pocket. Next time finance is coming at me with something, then I'll pull that out of my back pocket. That's a problem. That looks like something we need to figure out why that's happening. And Freak, thank you for the tier 2 for 45 months. That's a long time. Lost a few months along the way, but grand scheme of things, it's more month online than offline. So why are this is probably quantum chips. And Silver Cecil, thank you. I didn't even see it. I just saw that the top line turned on red, so that was like, oh, someone is donating 200 bits. Why? Why is that? Quantum chips. Yeah, we need a quantum chip factory, and we might as well do that seriously. And that's a good idea. Let's do that. Let's do quantum chips, because not only are we going to do quantum chips, we're also going to do quantum chips with a new build, like upgraded, and then we have a new build for the quantum chips. Cool. All right, that is on the way to trigger an early train. So where should we do that? If someone can do the planets command, then we can see. I have one that we don't have anything planned on, and that's Dakirith in the Gyna Cube system. Oh, wow, there are hives here. That one. It says there's nothing happening there, so let's go have a look if something is happening. Because it's... and you... I need to make sure that you are actually importing quantum chips. How are you? There you go. You are importing quantum chips. There's just nowhere to import it from. Yep, that makes sense. Ah, no train for this time around. And Lexi PDM, thank you for the 21 months. Come in a little bit earlier, it would have triggered the train. But maybe that was the point. Or maybe we just didn't notice. Yeah, this is absolutely correct. This planet is not doing much. Wow, this is a really lazy planet. Kidding me, it's not even exporting anything. Alright, well, I guess that's the first thing. And it has 13 million copper and iron ore, and it has a lot of goodies. Cool. Well, roll up the sleeves. It's time to get to business. Get to work. Get to work here. Yeah, Ooh, Loki and SBK, thank you for the 15 months.
Welcome home. Welcome back. Your steadfast loyalty is
Zuzu,
appreciated.
thank you for the 3 months. And now that joyous little potential train has spawned. I'm honestly really looking forward to playing Sekiro tomorrow. So for anyone who does not know what that game is, and ooh, Candyman, thank you for the brand new subscription. Welcome. And thank you for your support. And Tofi67, thank you for the 16 months.
Our illustrious champion returns. Welcome home.
Yeah, so Sekiro is a... Now I'm going to simplify it. It's a Souls game, so it's... And I know it's technically not a Souls game, but I think for people who don't know, it's easy to call it a Souls game. So it's a really difficult running around adventuring game from FromSoft, by FromSoft. And I played it quite a lot, and it's one of my absolute favorite games, and it's totally not in the same genre as any of the other stuff we do here on the channel, except that it's sort of slow and meticulous and difficult. Like me, slow, meticulous, and difficult. Crap. Yeah, so we are going to replay that, and that means if you don't know about the game, maybe check it out tomorrow if you want to, for some adventuring experience. It's such a good story, and I'll be explaining the story as we go along because it's weird. And it's just, I think it's particularly nice for me that because this is just pure enjoyment. There's no illusion about playing Sekiro will be popular or anything like that, or generate new views or anything like that. It's just, I just do it because I feel like it. And that's also nice too, to do that once in a while. Something that is not done for business reasons, just for funsies. Hey, sorry to bother once more. Sorry. Well, okay. But I'm trying to get all success. What? How can we have the no sales launch to finish the game? For the white signs, we need antimatter. I can't remember, but I mean, you can if you just don't launch any solar cells, but launch the Dyson Sphere. The actual structure points. I can't remember if that's how you do it, but there's no sun. Yeah, the frames still include solar cells, so they generate it, but they don't count as solar cells. And 1 minute warning on the train. 3 subs to even get the train off the ground and get it moving. Yeah, colliding with another object. It's that one. And 20 seconds. Guess it's not going to be this one either. And then we can see this is how much we have yet to capture. Oh, master power board. Yes. All right. Thank you. Kashmir, thank you for the space hype, albeit way too late. But thank you nonetheless. That would have been perfect if it had joined in during during the train. Then it would have I think just exactly triggered. So maybe it was just Twitch being Twitch and slow on processing. Yeah, it happens. That's why we have the... But thank you very much for it. Let's be honest and say it probably didn't make a difference. Then it would just have been sitting there on 0.0 on a level 1 for 5 minutes more. Yeah. Yeah, logging in late. Well, I was also logging in late, and I could only say, damn kids and their hobbies, because that was the reason why I was late. How much more? I mean, we're more than halfway, right? Okay, so no more silicon is missing. We still have a lot of copper and a lot of iron and a lot of titanium and a little bit of stone. It's a bit sad the fog become trivial at some point. I enjoyed the episodes that you struggled to overcome the challenge way more. That's totally okay, but that's how it goes, and it's the same in Factorio. Maybe there'll be like a late game challenge, and of course you're also just joining on the... This is the very late game where we're building mega base, and obviously that is bigger scale, and so I totally understand it. It's I can see that on every single series and every single thing. It's interest only goes one way, and that's down. That's fine. It's the way it works, and but you can still say that some people might be joining the stream and go like, oh, this is nice, and then find the let's play, and that let's watch some of the let's play, and then dive into sort of like having that content available for viewing whenever. And then some people will watch the first episode, some will watch all of them, and yeah. And for some, the interest is in how to do cool late game designs. But I don't think a lot of people are super keen on setting up yet another mining planet. But it's part of it. You can't have one without the other. It's a little bit meditative here. Oh, I missed something in this area. There. Kind gesture. Where was that? Kashmir. Where is it? Setting up another mining planet. Woohoo! Party on. Oh, wow. So, moderator Nightbot deleted your cheer message. That's really weird. Because it was all caps. Well, there you go. Well done, Nightbot, for protecting us from the evils of caps lock. Maybe this is a little bit overzealous. A little bit. How much more? Still 700 copper, so there's definitely... No, I don't know if there's definitely anything, or it's just a copper deposit once in a here and there that's missed. I think it is. Titanium ore is also just one here and there, but copper is definitely at least one entire copper deposit that's missing, because they are like 1 million, and then that's 2 copper. There we go. That's right there. I do think there's 2 copper deposits not taken. Yeah, 1.6. So where is that copper? Missing copper. This is the southern part of the planet. Yeah. Middle. This YouTube world? Yes, it's the same world. And that's it. Oh, that's actually not it. That can't be right. 900 seems like way too much copper that we missed. Doesn't that? No, they're all 900, 800, so I can't have missed 900 more. Like, it could be a small one like this that's missing. Just seems like a lot of missing. But if you also look at it, it'll be fine. This is what it is. Hobble Peter, thank you for the 15. How much metadata do you have? I don't know. I don't even know how to figure out how much I do. Isn't that on the save game? You can see it. Like that. About 10,000 of each. Near the South Pole. I don't see any untapped copper near the South Pole. The other South Pole? You mean North Pole? Am I blind or are you blind? Yeah, this is the south, but maybe it was just not rendered, or when it's done processing and it just stops. So anyway, thank you. This is fine. Okay, so I need to now export it. Good. Oh, really? Huh. That is a stupid amount of things I have here. That is absurd. Ugh. That is so annoying, because there's only one thing that means. Ah, crap. That means with this amount we have here, we really should go out and knock down some Man. It is all the single ones that are missing. Okay. So we need to do this. So we have iron and copper. And then titanium is also one that's going to be 2. And then I'll do stone. And silica. That one, stone, and then not silica, but instead coal. Sure. It is all the single nodes. Yeah. So what did we want to build here? The first thing I think we want to do is we want to build a Dyson Sphere builder at Infi Shadow. So let's go out and build that and kill the hives as we go along. It won't even kill any of our fleet, but you know. What? Oh, I didn't set it to export. No, that's right. I just set it up. Just tagged it, but I didn't set it up. There you go. Let's go take this one and then Z there. Oh, let's take that out and oops. There. And we have attack relay station off. It should actually be on because there will be some relay stations sitting here and not doing knowing what they need to do, and then they'll be forming a new one. So we want to just completely knock it out if we can. Red 5 checking in. Yes. Red 5 standing by. Good. Let's speed up towards this one. Yeah. They still have those warnings up top about small carrier rockets. Red October standing by. Something else. Distance. Okay, this one's a little more developed, but only has 5 units, so still not really something to worry about. I'm forgetting my 9 o'clock break, and that's kind of intentional. Alpha Hive. One ping only, Vasily. Yes. Single ping. If I warp between these small distances, then I lose my my ships. They won't warp with me, and then I'll jump out of warp space in the middle, and then not have my escort with me, and that's kind of stupid. Good shit. So, apparently one of them... This one is still alive-ish? So there must be some kind of thing left, but that doesn't matter. Alright, so where did we want to go? We wanted to go to... here? I can't remember what... Why did we go... Oh yeah, I wanted to go out because I want to make a Dyson Sphere builder. So, Dyson Sphere builder. That means that for anyone who has a good design for a Dyson Sphere that they want to see, then you can share it in the stream chat and let me know. Then I'll add it because I don't have any ideas for anything, basically. There you go. I am devoid of ideas. That's so annoying. Yeah. This is also an earlier build, I can see, because I don't have any concrete is out here. Shouldn't be. And this one. So you're gonna get... I have 3 of these, and I have the... So I need 100. Go. And then I need 100 of the launchers here, or the shooters. Oops. There we go. And then pave the world. Ah, Infi Shadow was designating everything as black here. Suppressing mineral patches. They seem to be suppressed already. All of this is out. That, and that goes out. This one goes out. This is out. Ooh! Why you no titanium? That sucks. Okay, but it didn't have much. Right, so let's continue building here. And the reason why I don't want, or I do want a Dyson Sphere, is just, I want a Dyson Sphere. When someone has been so generous to support as a master of the path, the least I can do is build an honorary Dyson Sphere in their name.
It fills you with determination.
And GG Johnson, thank you for Johnson. Thank you for the 50, the Prime. I don't know why the 50 came in, but Prime, brand new Prime, and welcome. Every time I build this, I'm like, no, this must be it. It's not going all the way out here, but it is. Oh, splitters. Let's go to some of those. Oh yeah, but still, no one has a good Dyson Sphere design that they would like to see in here in this. Because I don't really bother with going out and finding it, and it would be nice if we could just stamp something down and it would be cool. Oops, that was it. Okay, guess not. And okay, Sekiro put something in. Good. Awesome. Then let's use that. Yeah, this is the 0 line. And before we do anything else, let's start by going to Discord. Stream chat. Okay, I made some more basic spheres. I wanted to test maximum node amount. And even absorption. Oh, cool. What does that correspond to? 4 hours of intense precise clicking kills your hand. Ugh. Okay, fullerene filled, fullerene hollow. I like that one. What is it called? Well, it doesn't matter. We can just figure out. Dyson Sphere dense filled. That's probably the first. Dense hollow. I think it's fullerene filled. That's the one I want. We can see. We'll unload it and see. I can't believe how fast my PC got slow. Now I'm sitting here waiting for it to load a single browser. I don't understand why Windows is so bad. Ah, forget Linux. Shut up. I think this is the one, except... Can I not change the orbital radius? No, I guess not. So I don't want a sphere blueprint. I want the layer blueprint. Selected layers, copy. And then I delete. And then I make a new layer. That is the biggest level. There. And then I paste into this layer. Yes. There we go. That looks good. And then we have one... No, these ones I need to take out as well. Add orbit. Maximum size. 0 by 0. Yes. Add orbit. Maximum size. 90 by 90. Add orbit. Maximum size. 180 by 90. No, it's the same place. It's always the same place. Why? Okay, this one is at me. This one's over there. And that one's up. Okay, so this has to be changed. It's 90 and 180. Good. Right? Then that's over here. Good. So that's it. And it has to be 2, 3, 4. Alright. And then we have a Dyson Sphere builder, fast DS builder. We are missing some normal sorters and some of that there and some of that. Here we go. We got everything. Go! There. There we go. That's also good. I don't know if I need to build these. Ups. Oh. think it's mainly just keeping me busy. Yay! Where is Wardo? Thank you for the prime. Welcome.
Determination.
Right. So this one has already run its course. And then somewhere in the middle we need a planetary shield. Just anywhere. And then we need at all of the cardinal directions we need shields. Oh, it's already launching. That's a little quick. Where's the next cardinal direction? There.
Welcome home.
Welcome home. That's Demon One. Thank you for the 11 months. Yeah. And that is... Yep. That should be all 4 of them. And we need to just build the last bit. Not much. Shouldn't be taking long. And then it's all good. Still some random small belts here and there that are not flying out. I think the last one was off by 1 or 2 block. Off in X or Y direction, because I don't care. One direction I don't care. The other direction I do care. A minuscule amount. Looks fine. That's fine. I'm gonna look at 2 of them and go, it's fine. Also fine. Last chance. It was not at... But it is now. I just checked all of them. Unless you saw one of those that I said was fine that you didn't think that was fine. Okay, so Dyson Sphere. How big is this Dyson Sphere? 405,000. Oops, that's a lot of rockets. Oh, 9.8 million. Oh my god, that's also something. Well, and I'm attaching 4 of them. Well, this might take a while. Cool. But this planet is actually supposed to be doing a lot more than it is honestly doing. What is it actually doing? And why have I not highlighted? Oh, it's doing... quantum chemical plant. Huh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's graphene. Okay. Wow. That is a very productive world, actually. Huh. Okay. Cool. That definitely is just someone forgot to write it in our spreadsheet. No, not you. Alright, so this is, how much is one of these builds? From Spiniform? Nope, that one. It's 40 quantum chips and it makes 40 per second. So this is 120, 240. Okay. Oh, this is it's already here. Ah, because this is right. Okay, so this is already done. It's the carrot that we were looking at that's not doing anything meaningful. And that was correct. So let's go back there and get something meaningful done. Fly. There. All good. Let's find a spot on this planet where we don't have any interference from here. So we could take that location, or we could take that location. And then just only build on the top shelf here. Yeah? Because that's kind of in the way. That's actually rare that you don't have a dedicated location that you can just build everything on. Okay, but we can go to this location. Nope, not that location. It is... Alright, never mind. Yeah. Alright. And we don't have a color for this one, so let's make it a weird color. There. Right, so what is it we want to make? We want to make a quantum chip build, so we don't know what that's... Well, we do know what it's going to look like. It's just a matter of whether it needs tweaking or if it's good to go. Just need upgrading. Yeah. Did they add combat to the game yet? Yes, they did. Very much. And it's extremely awesome, even for a just first iteration. And if you want to know more, then check out one of my million YouTube videos about that topic. There. Because it's... I have so many on that topic already. Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. Right, so let's see. Let's see what we have. We have an ILS and we have quantum chips, 2.5. Oh, this is just going to be a flat upgrade. That's going to be so simple. And these will now get the new tier in. In you go. And greetings to you, IW Mercutio. I've been watching your videos and trying to use your blueprints, but the year not starting friendly, or I am too noob to navigate through them. Can you add some description text to them to know how to use them? No, I can't. It's I am putting in a stupendous amount of time to make sure that this is a new early hub, dark fog hub. If you're playing dark fog, you probably want a dark fog hub. If you don't know how they work, that's because there's a YouTube video explaining it. I could do a million more things, but I'm already doing way more than you could reasonably expect in terms of providing structure and that. So it says intermediate products, planetary logistics systems. Then it says it has the icon of exactly what it is. It has like a little hint about what tech level I'm expecting you to be at, what products you're using it, and it has the how much per second. I don't know how much more it's. I could add of anything here. Water. No, I'm not importing water. Why did I forget this? Oh man. I should build another planet with water, of course. The thing is also like what you are missing, you might be the only one who is requesting that. And then I would have to sort of put through that effort for your sake alone. And that's the bias of that's availability bias coming into play. Someone will mention something, and then because I hear it, I will sort of assume that that is a representative attitude. And it might be, but it most likely is not. Same with YouTube comments. If one person comments, "You're ugly," and then I'll go like, "Oh, they all think I'm ugly," or the likes. Yeah, so that's something you have to be aware of as a content creator, that the people who speak up are not necessarily the majority. They're just the ones who speak up, and they might not represent the majority. And there will always be someone who disagrees with anything you say and do. All right. Getting water in here seems incredibly stupid. So having this planet do this is not great. Ideally, this would be on a planet that has, and this is what I'm thinking. Didn't we already reserve something last time? Because I remember we were at a location where it says, "Oh, we have organic crystals here," and there was this balance of should I then export or import, or what was it? There's something here that's not clear to me. I think I already did something. I really feel that I did something here. But I can't remember where. Pandora Swamp. I think it might be this one. So that's St. Cabbage system, and then the Magmarel. Quantum chips 20, titanium, graphene. Oh, I already built it here. No, that's on Cybercraft. Why did I build it on Cybercraft? I'm gonna go here and see what the hell I did. Good. And you, my friends? Off you go. So this planet is ready for build stuff, but I don't know what to build here. Whenever we need something, then let's remember that that's an option. Maybe that's where we built the actual science facility. That could be. Anyone tell me the goal for this evening? No. I'm working on science, scaling up science, and getting the stuff. Hold on. Why are we? Okay, that's kind of silly. I just got a little bit confused about all those hives here. So there's a hive here. I realize one of the 2 planets in the system doesn't have titanium on it, and I'm angry about it. Well, that's how it always is. It's always like that. Or there's probably variation, but usually is the starting planet doesn't have titanium or silicon. Okay, good. Then the one of the other planets is lots of titanium, a little bit of silicon, and the third one has silicon and maybe no titanium. That would say, like, that's how I feel that the planets are usually organized, and there's probably a lot of variation as well, but so I wouldn't be worried about it. No plan to survive first contact with chat. Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. Go, 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 go. Close quarter fighting. And last hive. I do like just killing the hives when they're there. Just don't let them get too big. There you go. No, nothing left in this location, and then we can go to Cybercraft. Whoosh. Oh no. Is that seriously? Why have we not tapped everything? That's so sloppy of us. Huh. Ooh, sexy. That is sexy. But it's not fast enough. Each of these is producing 5 per second. Yeah, they're twice as fast as the other one. The other one was 2.5, so this is 5, 10, 20. 20 per second sounds like a lot of quantum chips, but it would not seem to be. Is there anything that's running out? No. Okay. Oh, hydrogen in demand is running out? That's weird. Okay. Then let's take another hydrogen in demand. Okay. Quick question. I am hewing your polar farm. Hewing? Should I destroy the hive in the system? Also, should I reduce the number of using? Okay. Reduce the number of planetary bases to 1 or 2. Currently farming 4, but there are 8 bases. Okay. I prefer to have them come in as waves. So that means you want to remove anything, if this is the farm, then anything that's sort of nearby that will then always be spawning units. Then I would remove those. Some people like having them there, but I prefer removing them. So with that being said, I would also say that you should not kill the hives in space. Because if you kill the hives in space, then what happens is exactly what happens here, is that the planetary bases don't have power, because they get the power from the hives, and they get the matter from the planets. So if you kill the bases, then the hive in orbit in space is starved for matter and can't make ships. If you kill the hives in space, then the planetary bases are starved for energy because they get it mainly from space. So then they will not be attacking very much. So this is a good way of saying, okay, I'm drowning in resources. Let me just kill the bases in orbit, and then they will respawn over time. So the way to get ammo to it is different planet. Use an ILS for that. Yeah. And I would say that you should farm all 8 bases, and then when you don't need enough, when you have like a gigantic storage of everything, then you can start scaling it down, but only at that point. Oh crap, I'm just gonna delete that because I only want this part now. I need to make sure that it actually gets the correct. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What? What? Why is that one still highlighted? Yeah. Okay. That was interesting. So they'll keep burning this, and then they'll be replaced by the other ones, which will be twice as much. Okay. You see that in endgame you can demolish the hives easily. Do you know if the devs planned to make the hives more interesting or stronger? Yes, they do. And these were baby hives. It takes like, it's still easy, but I can still die if I'm stupid, and I usually am. So I think right now they're in the same way that they are in Factorio, and what I'm playing is a Factorio Death World. So even in a Factorio Death World, there comes a point when biters are just a nuisance. You can clear them in lots of different ways, and it's mainly a matter of just spending the time, and then they'll go away. And whether you do it with nukes or with spidertrons or whatever you do, you can easily handle the biters even on a Death World. And that's the level we're at. So not saying you are complaining, but commenting on the difficulty of the Dark Fog in this setting is like the very end of Factorio commenting on the difficulty of biters. We just accepted that that's just the way it is. There are just many of them, but they're not dangerous. And that's the same as here. We have simply out-leveled them. And oh, I remember why we didn't build more here. That was because we were simply not getting any of these inbound. Let's get that. Yeah. If I need energy power on the second system, what's the best way to get it? Solar panels? I don't have the green signs yet. Yeah, when you get to the first new system, now not planet inside the system, but new system, that means you've unlocked warping. And at that point, you can use deuterium fuel. That's what I use. Or you can build solar panels. That's also what I use. I always build these rings around the planet, and they give, like on a normal planet, it gives around 300 power, 300 megawatt. That's enough to get like a little bit of mining going, get the hub going. Then I built, very late game, I built these solar artificial suns, but in mid game I use this one for 48 of these, and then bring in deuterium, and that works just fine. Guess that's like 600, I think. $48 times 15? Yeah, 720 megawatt of power, which is just fine for later. Didn't we have one that was like intermediate products, like super ultra mega late game? I thought we did that. Smelters endgame. Yeah, but we didn't have like an ILS thing endgame. There. That's that one. Then I kind of feel I need another one, another book that's for the very, very end game stuff. Intermediate products. TLS. And then that's here, and then it's that one. Early mid game. Wait. It's weird. Weird way of doing it. End game. Oh, it didn't save because I didn't save it. Sometimes there's a space, sometimes there's not. Lovely. Early, mid, late, and end game. And then if I make the brackets round, then it'll skip places, right? Yes. Unfortunate. But that's kind of the indication, right? We'll get some love in the space DLC. I'd love to see that. You heard a rumor? You mean you saw that screenshot posted long ago? I don't know where those rumors are coming from. You can say it's... I would dare say that that's unsubstantiated rumors. But, I mean, I could also start those rumors because it would be really weird if they didn't overhaul biters. They have not shown any biters at all in any of the screenshots or any of the... They've not talked about biters, like they haven't talked about beacons. And so let's just say that's probably because they want to reveal something later on. Quantum chips. 5. But that doesn't make it a rumor. That just makes it assumption. That one. And then we get that building, and then we get... It's pretty obvious that it's proliferated at this point, but we'll still use it. And that should then go into this. Just looking at nothing weird. There we go. FFFX. Meh, we just removed biters. People hated them anyway. More speculation. That's speculation it is. Maybe that alien alien civilization on Fulgora is actually our Dyson Sphere, the residual of our Dyson Sphere. Our Dyson Sphere civilization. That could be. The more I watch your live streams, the more I realize how poor and organized you are in this game. Thank you. Interesting. Yes, you're right. I'm poor and unorganized. That's people come here for the good dish of spaghetti I cook up. How do you measure poorness? As in the opposite of poor being rich. Yeah, yeah, interesting. But I do appreciate that that you watch more of my live feeds despite the fact that you find it poor and unorganized. Oh, why is this one not? Oh my god, that's so unorganized. Like, it didn't even have that as a... Oh my god, that's so unorganized. Copy, then we have to do that again. And paste. And go. There you go. Well, that gets us to 30 per second. And is that enough? It probably still isn't, because when we need to make green circuits, let's have a look at our green science. If I want to make green science, here, for every 2 here, I need 1, and then proliferation reduces stuff. But that means if I need 30 per second, then I need 15 per second just allocated from here. That's kind of a lot. So I don't think 30 is enough. But I also have a feeling that this might not. Do you think a PvP mode is possible? Don't care. I don't do PvP. Don't find it interesting. So. Oops. What planet is this? This is Cybercraft. Yeah, we haven't seen Cybercraft around. So we're gonna wrangle Cybercraft. If you see a Cybercraft, then just ask for a color. Harass for a color, maybe even. I learned something really interesting that I want to share with you. And you will not find it interesting, but I will. But I don't think I want to share it right now. I think actually wait until Samagod is also in chat. Let's also get that. There, 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 there. I have to remember to bring more of these. What are they called? They're called planetary shields. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The only PvP games I played is Hearthstone and Teamfight Tactics. And oh my god, was that... Oh no, of course lots of StarCraft. Lots of StarCraft and a little bit of StarCraft too. The perfect definition of an evil teaser. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's in my it's outside of gaming, so it's a little bit of a different type of revelation. Oh wow, that's a lot of spaces here that I missed out. And generally, not everyone seems to be so interested in that. Almost no one is probably interested in me talking about it, but I don't care. It's my topic. There. Let's do that. This is a little bit silly. I'll take these out, and I'll take this out, and then I'll just stamp down. And please don't miss. Okay, well, we don't quite have all we need. Yeah, it's your turn. Talk about what you want. Oh, absolutely, I will. Don't worry about that. But it's more a matter of, I know at least one person who might be interested, and that's Samogod. And if Samogod is not here, then that's the one person who would actually be interested, who is not here to hear it. Let's see. What is it we're missing? We're missing this. We're missing this. And well, stuff is definitely happening. Yeah. Bigger issue is I'll talk a little bit after the break. Cool. Oh, no insufficient logistics vessel. Okay, so we need to summon some logistics vessels. There we go. They're coming in. Would it be good quality of life to add the ability for the fidget spinners to work with the PLS and transferring items? Yes, it would be a good quality of life, but I think at this point, the fact that they have not done it would also just kind of... Now we build all our designs around that fact, and then if you suddenly change that, it does kind of like... If they... I remember when it just came out and it wasn't interacting with it, and I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. That would have been nice to have. But now we've just worked our way around it, and then it matters less, I think. Don't know why, but I keep thinking about how cool to build a Death Star. Yeah. You mean like as a Dyson Sphere, or as space station? But we'll probably can do that in a future upgrade. Yeah, nope, yeah, nope, yeah. That one. Well, this is now 60 quantum chips. While we are waiting for it to build, I'll just update on quantum chips. I have a feeling that some other things might also need to be upgraded here to keep up. But hey. What level of infinite science are you on? There's no such thing as level of infinite science. The only thing I would imagine is you'd meet is vein utilizations, and I'm on 18 of that. I've focused on all the other things first, so now I've reached a comfortable level for everything else, and then I just start working on these. And then the idea is that when this becomes too expensive, then I'll start taking some of the other things I like this one, for example. That might also be nice, because that's dirt cheap. That's actually really cheap. 32, yeah, dirt cheap. Energy shield would also be a nice thing to have. Now I'm just going through these, looking at them and go like, yeah, that's nice. Queue is full. All right. What is the consensus on using the fidget spinners? You got the polar hub and you just throw boxes around it and send lines from ILS to the boxes, or is it the in-game? Well, the way I do it, and I think that's a really good way, is that anything that I want to have stocked up in my inventory on most planets, then I'll bring it into this planet on an ILS, and then from an ILS I'll put it into a fidget spinner, and then the fidget spinners will make sure that they keep supplying me. with the stuff that I'm most likely to use in high quantities. Maybe I can get the last here. Where's the last one? There. Yeah, we should no longer be missing anything. Why do you bring yellow bricks in? Bricks? Because then there's a nice yellow line around here, and it looks good. And that's 100% it. It's purely aesthetic. And I like it, and I think it's worth it. Since it's just a blueprint I stamped down, then it doesn't really matter that it uses a little bit. I think it would be something. Yep, it could be for something, but it isn't. It's just... And let's see. Okay, so it is protected. It's just not protected enough. Panache. Yes, panache. That's exactly it. I mean, at this stage of the game, if you have a couple hundred assemblers stuck in boxes on planets, it doesn't really matter. Exactly. It doesn't really matter. And we just go through all this to make sure that there's no random little thing that's not there. And then let's see if we have everything we want. Hydrogen is somehow problematic. That is so weird to see hydrogen being problematic. Yeah, we're simply not getting enough hydrogen. I can't believe. Oh right, okay. Here's the thing. It was just not really getting enough power. Actually, fuck it. Just go max out on the power. It should never be that one. That's the reason why you're not bringing stuff in. Shouldn't be the power. So go, go, go. There we go. It was actually a power issue. There we go. So now that all of those are out, and then it'll build up more. Here, all of these are out. Good. I kind of think I should have a third one, just because it seems really slow. There. Cool. Break time. Woo. All right, this is really good. 60 quantum chips per second. It's something. It is definitely something. So I'll be back in 2 minutes, and then we'll figure out what the next thing we want to do is. Be back in a bit. And welcome back. And LB Piggy, yes, this is exactly the same game as the max difficulty challenge, correct? It's just less of a challenge at this point. I'm trying a honey gin my parents gifted me at Christmas. Interesting taste, not sure if I like it, but I'll definitely need to try it with a different tonic. Doesn't mix well with the fever tree elderflower I usually use. I would think, now I don't know a lot about spirits in general, but I would think that a gin with a flavor is supposed to be enjoyed neat and not with a mixer. Because like then you need to find something that complements honey, but if you were doing that, then why would you make a honey gin? You put the flavor in so you can enjoy the flavor, not mix the flavor with some other flavor. That would be my logic. But then again, I wouldn't drink it with or without a tonic. Except, of course, if I was trying to protect myself from malaria, then that might be. Oh yeah, and thank you for joining Nightshade Lotus. Maybe you already left, but yeah. Honey and gin don't sound like they would go well together anyway. I don't know. Tonic is malaria medicine that's mixed with gin to make the colonizers drink it. All right. I don't know what's gonna run out, so we'll just see. It clearly right now is the hydrogen, which seems so absurd that we're running out of hydrogen. It's the most abundant product in the universe and we can't get enough of it. But I'm also hoping that maybe we'll get it. Or should I even enable the last one here? Just go out and get some more. There we go. Okay, so Sam 2092. This is now a you've now committed 3 things that were trolling. So either you're young, ignorant, or a troll. And that is now one more, and then that then will persuade me that you're just a troll, and then I don't bite that. So I chose not to ignore your. I chose to ignore your trollish comment, and repeating it will not help. So, just make quinine flavored gin. Yes, but they wouldn't be quinine flavored. It's the gin flavor. Okay. We need to go to our science planet. And don't use all caps. Nope, not even when. Quantum chips, titanium, graphene. Where did we make our science? Ah, on Garantio 3. 2. Garantio 2 in the Skippy system. Garantio 2. Ooh, do we remember where we placed our... all of our... what's it called? All those ships? Because I just got an idea. Maybe it's time for us to take out this the hive cluster. Wasn't that here in the Infish Shadow? Wasn't it here we built it? I think it was. Museum. Okay. Here in Greece called Rakomel or Raki. Oh. when you talk about like, okay, so every country has like disgusting liquor, and then like, oh, Greece has ouzo, like, oh yeah, but they also have raki, which is probably even worse. um, in Denmark we just have snaps and gammeldansk as an old Danish. Let's see, was it here? Yes, it was. Ah, damn it. You know where we're going now? We're going into... Isn't Raki Turkish? I was about to get in trouble with both my Turkish and Greece brothers here, so I'm not gonna say anything. Didn't someone pick up these? And then I've also heard whiskey connoisseurs talk very favorably about Japanese whiskey, and I'm like, that's interesting. Like, Japanese, you wouldn't think that. Like, yeah, Irish, Scottish whiskey, yep, that's tradition. Japanese, okay, yeah, winning a lot of competitions. All right, but I mean, yeah, good. So we got that, and then 2 options now. I think we want to go bump that one, the black hole. RPG Dinosaur Bob. Thank you for the 20 months. Good to see you. And Factory Musculature, thank you very much. So let's go here and bump the hive here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hives. And I don't even think that's going to be difficult, but let's see. I'm going to black hole invasion. It's just nice to have that one before we do that, because there is a fair chance that I would want to YouTube something. Thank you, Silver Cecil, for the 200 bits. Trying to start a train together with Factory Musculature. 997. So 3 more attempted hype trains, and then you have a big 4-digit number. I don't actually drink alcohol anymore. Like, pretty much not. I mean, I can enjoy a single beer with a meal, but that's it. I never get drunk anymore, and I don't even, not even like more than a single beer. I might have 2 beers if I'm like 1 for dinner, and then maybe sitting in the couch watching something, and then I'll have a beer afterwards. But that's like, then, whew, that is... what the hell happened? Where is it? You're still so far away. Okay, cool. Yeah, exactly. It was back when it was actually on my YouTube days. And thank you, George, for the 38 months. Much appreciated. And that is now putting us at 4 out of 5 events. Before I was turning pro, then I did have a lot of I had beers at during my live streams, and that also was perfectly fine, because it was so rare that, or no, that's not correct. I was streaming 2-3 days a week, so having a couple of beers 2 days a week, that's fine. But then I started streaming maybe 5 days a week, and then chugging a couple of beers every night during live stream was like, whoa, hold on, that's not the same thing as having an occasional beer. And then since then, I've just turned it down a lot. Okay, so my idea here is we go to the planet and then we don't land, but we do this and we just nuke everything here. We take out every single hive or every single relay station here so that now eventually they will be starving both on the planets because I cut off the connection between them. And then we want to find the closest hive and then start munching on that. I think that's this one. Let's take that. You are the one. Feel a beer or two, Radler, when sitting with friends, sometimes a glass of wine, girlfriend, very seldom a gin while watching a stream. But the days of getting really drunk are so gone. Yeah. It just has lost its appeal. It's also like, you know, and woo, thank you for the 32 months. It managed to trigger a train. Now, let's see if this train can actually get off the platform. We've had a lot of failed trains lately, so let's see. Woohoo! Oh man, I love the music in... it is... the music is so interstellar. Goodbye, goodbye. So good. Such a shame that you can't choose the music. And that's it. That's triggered. Trigger. Go back. Go away. It didn't trigger. Damn. Now it triggered. Good. Then we go away. Oh, yes. Where are all my... where are they at? Where are they? Where am I high? There they are. Okay, good. And thank you, Block, for the 300 bits. At least there's a hype train for a change. Ah, yes. So, let's see. We're 50% through the level 1. To 50% on our way to get a hype train going. Basically, if I can shoot my rockets, I'm probably too close. Woo! And Demon One, thank you for your 500 bits. Cool, we're at 60% now. Maybe it's also the scene. Shibari and similar and alcohol don't mix. Correct. And also the kind of parties I go to. They are strictly no alcohol, no drugs of any kind. Well, actually, sometimes there's a cacao ceremony. I don't like that, but that's seems to be a thing these days. Whoosh. But you're absolutely right. It is because consent is so important at the events I go to, and you can't really consent freely, enthusiastically, and informed if you're under the influence of drugs. Eldarix, thank you for the 26 months. Good to see you.
Welcome home.
What? A cacao ceremony? Yes, that's when you drink ritual cocoa. Which is like really, really concentrated, and yeah, it's weird. It's not my cup of tea. It's not even a cup of tea, but it's not mine either. I don't. Yeah. But it's a thing. Sound like a cult thing? No, it's very it's just a spiritual thing. It's very common in the spiritual circles to use cacao for sort of, I don't know. Some people are getting really religious about it, like communing with the cacao spirits and all that stuff, and some are just like, nice, tastes good. How many we got? 26 units. Okay, so they are actually, we cleaned out all the units here. So now it's start working on the static defenses. Demon One, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. That is great to see that we actually managed to get a train off the ground today, off the platform, thanks to you. Thank you for that. Galactica mod adds different planet sizes and planets per, yeah, but I don't feel there's anything about the mods that would enhance my gaming experience for this game. All it would do is just mean that I would have to sort of spend way more time on explaining why things are not like the same in my game as it is in your game. So. Don't think we have a lot of... Oh, there's some shooting here. Do you have any idea if it's possible to mod some complex new tech trees? Same as... I have no idea. No idea how this... I don't think it's I don't think it's built for modding. Definitely possible, but it's not in the same way as Factorio is very much built with modding in mind. How's the game performance since adding combat? Way worse, of course. But we're actually... We're not constrained by... well, not way worse. It's just that there's a lot more to keep track of in the game. And because there's a lot more to keep track of, that's going to take some updates. Is there any priority focus on units in the game? Nope. Alright, so we can see that we're cutting this one. We're munching on half of it. In the mod I use automatically changes solar sail shooters target based on what they can see. To get rid of the most below high. Okay, well, I don't know. I mean, I think it's part of the game that sometimes they can't see what they can't shoot because they're below the horizon. So, like, changing that is weird. It would not be an essential thing for me. Like, the one thing that I might want to mod, but I wouldn't, would be something like remapping keys. But I think you can actually do that already, can you? Like, the shortcut keys are super annoying in this game. Why share Sekiro as a group on a metaphysical... Okay. On a metaphysical level, Sekiro serves as a tool for connecting to the energetic space of your heart, as well as to the people around you. Yep. I mean, there's a ritualistic aspect to it, and that's perfectly fine. And for me, it doesn't do anything. I don't like it. It's extremely bitter, like extremely bitter. And then because sort of to make it taste like something, it's usually or often has chili, and then to sweeten it, it has dates, and it's like it's just a weird concoction that doesn't really do anything for me. You could do it with anything, but it's cacao has some kind of effect that isn't alcohol. Also been trying it with lotus tea, which was really funny because lotus tea, it was a cup of tea, and it was, but what they did in the beginning was they talked about everyone should be mindful that this tea could be sort of make you not so could to some extent make you not lose your inhibitions, but be more open to emotions and just experience, and you have to be careful not to sort of get overwhelmed by this sensation. um, and and it was sort of supposed to open your heart to new experiences. So people would be expected to be more open and loving after drinking this tea, which is brilliant. Like brilliant saying like that. That's oh, the hype train died. Ah, well, so much for that. Um, and that's just really interesting because what happened was that everyone got fucking horny because the tea did it. It was the tea, and I don't know. I don't think the tea did it. I think it was just the placebo effect of the tea that made everyone like, oh, well, the tea makes us horny. So if I'm horny, that's okay because it's the tea did it. And I think that's a fun trick. To be fair, placebo and priming is effective. That's exactly my point. The point was that you could it for all intents and purposes, it was just a tea that tasted awful. But it was the whole thing about be careful because you might be more open to connecting and feel the love in the room much more clearly than you normally would. And like those are the kind of things that go like, oh, okay. And the organizer, I talked to her afterwards, and she was like, "Yeah, it got a little bit. She's organizing things that are her events are sort of have the rules that panties stay on, so no sex, but that was only by the narrowest definition that was respected during that workshop." Do you have panties? No, but that's the expression. I usually actually wear for these kind of events. I wear like a gladiator skirt. I call this skirt, but like gladiator thing. It's like a leather kilt, but only like with straps. It's kind of a kilt, but the kilt is linen all the way around, but this is not all the way around. This is only sort of, yeah. Oops. Don't want to carry that. I feel this hive is wrecking us. There you go. Finally, we can go munch on this. So. I'm missing contests. What kind of events are these? Temple nights. That's what they're called. And if you don't know what a temple night is, then yeah, then it's not much of a description. A temple night is a half-guided, half-free event that follows sort of a similar pattern, and where you do like some exercises together and for bonding and getting to know each other. And then there's a free part where there's temple night, and for that you dress up in your sexy clothing or whatever makes you feel sexy. And it's not a sex party, but it can be, but it's more of an erotic exploration and connection. So it's a great way to meet new people and just have a pretty awesome time. And of course, that's why for events such as that, it's not really, you don't drink alcohol, obviously. Not temple night. Night as in opposite of day. But then, yeah, it's a tantric kind of workshop where you meet other people in a tantric way. But this, or it's also for the burner community or BDSM community or swinger community. But yeah, it's a kind of a little mix of it all. Went to one in this weekend. That's why I was offline until Sunday. It was really nice. We found out he's engaging some hardcore CNC. Consensual non-consent? No, it's very much consent is the absolute most important thing, and that's spending a lot of time on the whole consent exercise, and it's. But even if it's consensual non-consent, of course, if you're doing BDSM, then there's some element of surrender. Yeah, computer numerical control, yes, or it's also that processing of like metal carving. That's also called CNC, right? It's not sexual, but friend is just attending an event where you are 7 days locked underground in complete darkness and silence meditating. That sounds really stupid. I know of an event like that. Is it in Holland? And it's because that is something that is a really great way if you want to get some trauma that you'll never get rid of. Slovakia. It is. Yeah, I know someone who, well, no, I know someone who knows someone, right? Like that. But I've heard about these where it's like 6 days in an underground bunker, and you get food once a day, and you're in complete darkness and complete silence. Like, that's called torture. Why would you subject yourself? And I can see it for a shorter period of time, so you get that sense, but it is like supposed to break you down completely, entirely, and then maybe rebuild you anew. But there's also a very, very high likelihood that you're just coming out of it traumatized. I was like, why would, yeah, that to me has no value. Like, you can do it if you want to, but if anyone was saying, oh, I'm considering going, I would spend a great deal of effort persuading them not to go. Because that is definitely mentally unsafe. Hmm. 10 years of therapy, yeah. I do know someone who went to a workshop that was also organized by some of them also organizing these kind of workshops. And she has PTSD, which, I mean, she shouldn't have gone for that. And she has also said, like, it's been 10 years and her PTSD just got worse after that, and it's never really recovered. So, you're gambling with something.
Our illustrious
Hey, Rene, thank you for the 9 months. Ooh, stop poking me. They are really shooting. Not because we're running out. We have more than 1k of each left. It just... It's actually insane how fast people start losing their mind. Yes. And people who sign up for these kind of things, they are not prepared for it. Because it's easy to sign up for a course and go like, oh, that sounds cool, and I want to challenge myself, and I've heard some good things, and blah, blah, blah. But you are not prepared. Like, the thing is, like, if you want to run an ultra marathon, you can't just go straight into it. You have to exercise and plan and prepare for it, or climb a mountain or something. You can't just throw yourself at it. But this is a thing that is as extreme, if not more extreme, but you can throw yourself straight into it with no preparation. There's not like half a year of build up where where you have chances to come to your senses and you can sort of get weeded out for not being strong enough emotionally to actually endure it. And therefore it's even more risky because there's no there's no guardrails, no safeties. Yeah, so definitely don't want to do that, but that is something entirely different from the stuff I do. Those are sensual, sexual, erotic events. They're fucking awesome. I'm living the best life. That's no doubt about it. I have a friend that I've been friends with her for a long time, and she's been sort of, when we talk about stuff, and then she was like, you need an Excel sheet to keep track of all your connections. Like, that might actually be a good idea. And she wanted that Excel sheet just so that she could keep track of when I mentioned someone, because it's just awesome. You meet people, and if there's a connection, then you just say it like it is. Hey, you want to do something? And then I would say, being a rigger, it's a fucking amazing skill. I cannot emphasize how much that enables. And I mean, it's an amazing experience, but damn, it's also an attractive skill. Yeah, it's good. Talking about what's a rigger? If you Google Shibari or Kinbaku, then you can see it. A rigger is someone who ties someone else up in a BDSM context. So it's Japanese rope art / rope torture. And riggers are the ones tying, models or bunnies are the ones being tied. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yes. Just doing checking. It's a way to punish people and making them geflügel. What? Let me just, if you want to get, just do psychedelics. Actually, psychedelics can have a. They're being more and more popular as being for part of regular treatment, because they can do some amazing things under medical supervision. But that's not the same as party drugs. Actually, it might be the same. Sounds like something more accessible in the EU than US, maybe. Or maybe it's just more in the open. Met a woman on a train in Japan who had signed up for a month-long silent retreat on monastery. She gave after 4 days, just travel around Japan. I think that seems good. Stimuli. It charges to. What have I stumbled on? For the muse, the usual. We're just killing stuff and talking about sexual habits, BDSM. What else? What have you? That isn't that like the most logical combination of things you could imagine. Oh. 3 of those are not working. That's not good. But we're still in progress killing stuff here. There. Well, that's a couple of hives. Are you? Yes, and you are a rigger. Do you do it professionally? I don't do it professionally because that would imply that I would charge money for it. And the same as being a tantra masseur, then I do it as a hobby, as for fun. But there's a reason why I don't stream on Tuesdays and Tuesdays and Fridays most of the time, because most of those days are for rigging. I usually try rigging 2 or 3 times a week, and I'm not gonna say I have a waiting list, but I'm booked solid almost through end of March. And that's not something that I have ever been able to say in my life before, being like, oh yeah, I have dates planned for the rest of the month. And you do it like if anyone just messaged you or on friends. No, it's a sexual meeting, so it has to be someone you have some kind of attraction to, or yeah, or you can just be someone could be curious and you could go like, okay, do you want to give them an interesting and experience? But it is a very intimate and often very sexual, so it's not something you do with your sister or your mother, hopefully. But there has to be some kind of connection. Yep, let's get out of there. Getting a little bit too close. I googled Kimbarko, my city, and top result is now a page. Oops. 404. Well, that's happening to, yeah. Otherwise, it's all sushi. Yeah, okay. I don't know how big your city is. But I've also heard that it is massive in Denmark. It like the events hosted by the lounge in Copenhagen is sort of people come from all over Europe to attend, and it is supposedly the biggest club, but that's hard to say because I don't have numbers, but 1,500 members active every month is a lot in this space. Hi W. Mercutio, thank you for joining. Hope to see you again. Yeah, try Shibari. Shibari is more common. I'm actually seeing a lot of, yeah, because generally it's not 100%, but generally Shibari means to tie, and Kinbaku means tying tightly. So generally, if they are used interchangeably, but if there is a distinction, then Shibari is the aesthetic and the sensual, and Kinbaku is the more BDSM aspect of it. Oh, metro population of 2.5 million. Wow, that's twice the size of Copenhagen. Yeah. How do you locate these in near major cities? Yeah, the BDSM door is that's true. That is true. You meet someone and you go like, oh, I know you're kinky. I just know it. And it doesn't have to be anything. There's just a vibe, and I don't know. It's probably the same as gaydar, that you can just sense like, you're not boring. I don't know how you would find stuff like this in an American city, but in Copenhagen and Berlin and Amsterdam and Stockholm, it's just events. Those are sort of the other cities I know that are big and very public, where there's no taboo around it, because that's the main part. And it is weird, like something that just falls so out of the norm of everything you sort of think about is like when you after a session and your model is proudly wearing the bruises and proudly showing them off. That's such a weird thing in these Me Too days, that yeah, it's like just going like, ooh, I hope someone will ask me, why do you have like bruises on your arms like that. And just, ooh, I hope someone will ask me, or I hope someone will recognize what kind of marks it is. Wear it like a badge of honor. See that? Have you tried Hojo Jutsu? Never even heard of it. No idea what it is. Okay, we're down to a modest amount of Corvettes now. 500 left. Yeah, I also like, of course you know that these kind of scenes exist in all major cities, but it's often difficult to get sort of a foot in. Like these events, you have to apply for them. And then you sort of have to go like, okay, it's like, it's stated, it's not a beginner event. And when you apply, you have to list what other events you've been to of the same kind. So that in and of itself is like, okay, so you're not going to get in there as your first event. But stuff like Tantra festivals, there are 4 in Copenhagen now a year. 2 that are called Copenhagen Tantra Festival, and then 1 that's called Loving, and then another one's called Tribal Vibe. And those are, so that's, and going to one of those is a great starting point, both for meeting people and getting in, sort of sampling a lot of different things and just figuring out what could be interesting. What's your drug of choice? A kind of martial arts using rope evolved from the same source inspired. Oh, okay, yeah, nope. And it doesn't sound interesting to me. Because that's adversarial, and that's the, don't like that. Good, we found a good topic to talk about while clearing biters, right? There's a lot of local events, but it can be Googled. Nice. So, now that we are so deep in this topic, I will also tell about that epiphany I had during this workshop. Because oftentimes I have this impression of how things work, but I can't articulate it until I sort of, I need a language for it, I need a model. I'm an engineer, I need a model for something. So this is going to be a little bit convoluted because it's going to go into sort of a little bit of theory. So if you want to follow along, then there's something called the Wheel of Consent. And it is how, it's a great way of looking at consent in a modeling perspective, from a perspective of, okay, how does it actually, how do you approach this? So there are 4 domains and they are sort of crossed from each other. There is, it's an interaction between 2 people, generally 2 parties. You can be giving, that means you give something to the other person. That means your objective is their pleasure. You are doing something for their pleasure. You're giving them something. And then the other side of that is the receiver. They are receiving a gift. And those 2 pair together. So for example, a tantric massage, you as a masseur, you are very much focused on giving an experience, and you are into the receiver and thinking about and sort of feeling what they want and giving them what they need and want. And that's the objective of it. Then the other pair in this part is taking and surrender, or acceptance, but I think surrender is better. And that pair is that one party is surrendering. That means they are not, they are allowing things to happen within, they define their boundaries, but they, aside from that, they have no control. They just surrender to the situation. And then the other party is taking. They will do something, but they will do it for their own pleasure. And those 2 go together. And that is where rope comes in, because that's And that's also why I see a lot of... Oh, that's not good. Oops. That was certainly runaway. Whew. We're gonna get a little bit closer again. Yeah. Yeah. And enable. And there. So that's the part, the whole taking versus surrender. And it was something it wasn't really clear to me until recently that that's the essence of rope. Because I had a session with a friend, and she was like afterwards, like after just being in ropes for several hours, and just she was very happy. Then she was like, "Oh my God, that was amazing. What can I do for you?" And I was like, "No, you already did for me. You surrendered." Or I didn't use those words because I didn't have that language for it. But I was like, "No, you don't owe me anything." Or it's I got as much pleasure out of it as you did. And that was the... I just missed the model for it. And the model is, of course, that her role is surrender. So I have the control of what's gonna happen as a rigger, and then I do what I want, and she will allow it to happen within her boundaries, of course, because that's why it's so important to set up the consent and boundaries beforehand. And you can't change you can remove consent, but you cannot give consent to more than what you have agreed to in the beginning. So, and that means that's why I actually enjoy rope more than tantra right now, because there is this element of control and dominance, and I like that. And that's but that idea of realizing that the dynamic is not giving and receiving, the dynamic is surrendering, taking. So, good night, Michael. Did that make sense? Was it mumbo jumbo? Was it weird? Come on, kill these couple of hundreds more. Not many. Can test to see how much kind of kink they got into. Yeah, BDSM test. It's actually really good. I wasn't expecting conversation to go like this, but I'm enjoying it. Pretty fun of me using. Yeah. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different from the usual streamer talk. Although, as with each kink, it can change with the partner. I mean, yes, what you want, but the idea, like you cannot imagine a BDSM session or a rope session where it's the one that is submissive who goes like, no, do this, because that's then you're not. Then it's a weird dynamic. And also just trying this surrender thing, if you try it, it may seem weird, but when you feel that the other person is taking for their own enjoyment, then that can be incredibly amazing, because you know that what they are doing with you is something they really enjoy. They're not doing it because they want to please you. They do it because they want to do it. And you can feel their energy and desire, and it's like, that's a really good feeling. Even better than receiving something that is meant as a gift. So that I can definitely understand. Like this also something that is a non-trivial thing is that, so what kind of stereotype would be my usual models? So I'll let you guess. I'll let you guess, like if there's one stereotype that that would be of women who would be like, yep, that is overrepresented by a long shot in among my models or my partners. Then so just seeing if anyone has any thoughts on what that could be, or maybe just stunned silence. I think we got this hive as well. This one is very dead. You can have the giving receiving with one partner and taking. Oh right, yeah. Oh absolutely. Or you can have it with the same partner, and just a different setting, scene, day. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so that's what I meant. I completely agree. But not like, yeah, changing within a scene seems weird. But yes, definitely. You can also have someone where you go like, okay, today I want you to do this, and then let's take these roles and play with them. Got it. Alright, so not much response to that. No idea what the options are. Guessing it, yeah. They squares with well-defined features like your city blocks. Thank you, Aron. Thank you, appreciate it. No comes me, yeah. So if you want to share the whole BDSM test, that's also fun. Yeah. Now, but it's actually, it makes a lot of sense. So, career women are like, whether CEOs, directors, self-employed, is extremely overrepresented. Why? Why is that? It makes so much sense. Because if you are used to being that disposable income, it doesn't matter. There's no cost to this. This it's not an expensive hobby. But it is, if your day job is in a very masculine role, and as a director or a self-employed or as a manager or CEO, then you have to take on a masculine demeanor at work. Do this. This is the goal. That's all very masculine. And then when you come home and you find your partner, if you don't meet someone who can take the masculine role, they end up staying in that masculine role. And thank you, Ice on Shower. Thank you for 600 bits. Then stay in that masculine role, and that's not fulfilling, because it can be nice to be shifting and go into a feminine role of sort of surrendering and letting, just losing control. And that's very much what happens. And this is a great space to sort of go in, and there are rules around how to surrender. That makes perfect sense. Almost out of ships. Oh yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. We're also out of... damn. We also have a little bit of problems. We can't really land anywhere. Well, we can land here. Don't know if we...
Welcome home.
Maybe we just hover in space here a little bit, because I can't request anymore without going back, and it's a little bit far away from anywhere. We can go to Viking. Let's go here and land on Qualon. There. Off we go. Of caregivers like nurses and similar in them subs. I think in the tantric world, there is an over representation of caregivers, like nurses and all the things. Because and that kind of makes a lot of sense for me. Like, if you are nurturing, and then your hobby is also sort of nurturing. But I found it incredibly interesting that there are so many really high-powered career women as that, which of course then you can say all things you want, but there's also the other part of it. Like, there are also a lot of men who want to be submissive and maybe go to a dominatrix in their spare time, when they are to sort of leave that masculine and just submit and be treated, and surrendering. So that makes it makes really good sense, whether it's men or women. It's not it makes sense that if you are very much masculine in your work, then you might want to explore the feminine at some point. For me, it's the other way around. My work is very feminine. I'm a performer. I have no control of what's going to happen. That's a very feminine polarity, of being the performer. Look at me, I'm performing, and therefore the counter to that is being dominant. DT525, thank you for 3 months of Prime, and Joke Master, thank you for the 6 months. Lo-Fi Lemon, how do you find this hobby? I will happily answer that question, because it's a little bit longer one, after I take a little break. And thank you for engaging and asking questions. That makes it a whole lot more fun. Cool. Be back in 2 minutes. All right, welcome back. Yes, this will be on the VOD. I don't care so much. Oh, we're missing something there. And yes, good. We are ready to head back out there and take out the... Yeah. Ooh, we need a name for this. Well, only when we colonize it, but still. This is pretty mesmerizing. Didn't even really give these things much thought before. Cool. And I like surprising. Like, all about staying effective, right? And then that also comes for other things. People at higher education are highly overrepresented in the German scene. German scene? Oh, German, kink scene? Very many academics and fewer tradesmen than in general population. Yeah, I think so too. That's... yeah, I don't know. I think it depends. It always does. Let me answer. Yeah. I'm gonna come back to the how did I find my this thing, and Lo-Fi, you only get since you're at work, you're gonna be pulled away. Then I'll answer your question first, then I'll come back to this thing from you, Fennec. Right. Yeah, that hive is ours. Right. So how did I find this? Like I've been doing this thing here for 5 years, and the first 2 years, I mean, aside from Corona and all the stuff, then starting a new company and doing that, this was my hobby. This was all I had time for. It was always like, oh my god, am I gonna make it? I have to put everything in. So there was no capacity to look for other hobbies. Then after some years, I'm kind of like, okay, it's kind of, this is what I do now. So I started sort of looking for hobbies because I kind of wanted something else than gaming. Gaming has always been my hobby, but now it was also my job, and it didn't mean that I didn't enjoy it. It was just I don't want to be only doing something where I sit at home and play games, because now that's my work and I don't have colleagues. So I need to do something social. So I was like looking for something social, um, and something getting out of the house. And gaming isn't really either of those. Um, so I was looking at different things, and I really enjoyed when I took an MBA. That this whole thing about where you're coming in for a weekend, and then this world is, it's just the MBA, and that's all that matters. And then you can deep dive into it with like-minded people, and then oh, there we go, breaking off. Um, and then I wanted something like that. And then I had a friend who had taken a sexology, done a sexology study, and I just, that's a really interesting topic, and it kind of sort of resonated with me. Like it's an interesting topic to talk about, and there's definitely a lot of depth to it. So yeah, sure. So I started studying sexology at a school in Copenhagen, and sort of had a girlfriend, and she introduced me to the tantric world. Well, I was kind of introduced, but we explored the tantric world, and it was just really nice. And then it became a hobby, and she introduced me about a year ago now. She took me to a rope workshop, and I wasn't into rope. I didn't like it. Because I was looking at the most extreme stuff, and I was like, nope, that's not my cup of tea. It still isn't. But she was like, no, it's not like that. It's more it's tantric rope, so it's soft and it's intimate. And I was like, all right, we'll go. And then as soon as I touched the rope, I was like, oh my god, this is the shit. And she was also realizing it, and she actually forbade me from doing rope. Kind of. She was saying like, I really don't like that you take training, because I was like, oh, I want to do more. And she was like, no, because and rightfully so. And in a certain aspect, she that was quick. How the hell did that happen? We were getting too close, but that was like instant. Oops, let's warp away. Oops. Yeah. Okay, so so the reason why she was worried about me learning rope and getting into it was because she was worried that my kind of personality would mesh too well with the rope, and I would just start nerding about it. This OCD attitudes, the engineering technical approach, and she was fearing that I would lose the tantric perspective to it. So after we were not together, then I was like, I should probably look into this now, because now is kind of fine. And at one of the first sessions, I am one of the guy who's now teaching me, who's also the founder of the lounge in Copenhagen. He was saying, like, generally, rope appeals to two types of people. Like, rigging appeals to two types of people. It's either the tantric people who love the connection and the intuition and just all that stuff, and the other type is the engineering type, who just love the technicalities and managing the rope and just learning about the knots and the pressure points and where the anatomical and the risks and all that stuff, like all the nerdy stuff. And I was like, Yeah, I'm kind of tantric, and I'm an engineer, and I love the technical shit. Yep, I know why I'm so hooked on it, because it is a hobby that you can do without doing it, which is something I like. You can focus on it when you're not actually doing it. So you can think about what you want to do, or you can think about different ways that you can combine the stuff. You can look up YouTube videos or test some things on yourself, and there's just a ton of things that you can do between actually practicing it, which is something I really like with a hobby, is that you can sort of think about it. You can spend idle thoughts on your hobby, and that's something you can definitely do with. Oh, let's slow down, so we don't run around like crazy here. So, so that's why how I sort of went from sexology into tantra, into rope, and then I'm still into all of those things, and that domain is my hobby. But yes, it has this nerdiness to it. And there's also the part about, like, when you're done with a session, just coiling the rope, just tending it, stretching it out, and making sure that it's nice, and then cleaning, and all that stuff that's part of it, which you have in a lot of hobbies as well, like when you're biking, and then you tend your bike, and you tweak and you tune and what all those things, and you still have that with the rope. And I just really enjoy that aspect as well. That was on that, wasn't it? Yep. That explains why so many IT people are at the Munchies meetups. Yes. Because there is this really aesthetic feel, and then you can do you can think about all the technique, and then you get a model that's a slightly different size, and then two ropes doesn't match, and then suddenly you need 2.5 rope, and then what the hell are you going to do with the last rope, the last half rope? Well, you're going to have to come up with something yourself, and figure out how to make it aesthetic. And that's also like a cool part of the challenge, that it's not the same. It's always a little bit different. So, and that's I really like that aspect of it. Like, it's not formulaic in any way. There's always going to be like challenges and combinations and response and all that. So yeah. So that's how I found that hobby. And needless to say, I'm very much enjoying it. Think of entertaining as being what? It's a very interesting discussion. I mean, I didn't even think of entertaining as being more feminine, though I prefer to refer to it as receiving. But if you talk polarity, which is a domain and very much related to tantra, in the tantric world, the world is split into masculine and feminine, and not man and woman, but masculine and feminine. And the feminine is all energy, all matter, everything that happens is feminine, and the masculine is observing that it happens. It's so funny. Like, so basically the masculine aspect is to observe the world, because the world has no purpose if there's no one to observe it and be part of it. And there are lots of analogies, like the feminine is the roaring ocean. It doesn't have a purpose, but it's full of energy and it's not going anywhere, while the masculine is the ship traversing the ocean. It's going for a destination, and it has an objective, and those things. And then you sort of have different attributes that go between the masculine and feminine, and it has nothing to do with man and woman. There's nothing better or worse. It's just that the masculine is observing and the feminine is performing, and you can't have, or one without the other doesn't really have a lot of value. Because what's the point of performing if no one is observing it, and what's the point of observing if there's nothing to observe? That kind of aspect. Into the suspension, all the things about connecting multiple ropes, any other things you naturally do on the ground. Go out the window because you need to factor in completely other things. What if one rope knot slips? Yes. I just started doing suspension. I've been doing 4 suspension with 4 different models. It is... not 4 bus. It is insanely amazing. And just for reference, so in terms of rope, you do a lot of it on the ground, but when you sort of don't touch the ground, then the ropes are holding everything. That's when there's a risk involved, both in terms of if you didn't tie it properly, they'll drop on the ground. That's pretty uncool. And also there's a risk of, because you carry the whole weight on ropes, then you have to make sure that you know some basic anatomy and where the nerves are and where not to tie knots and how to tie and all that stuff, so that you and also what kind of check-ins you have to do continuously to make sure that everything is okay, because the model might not be able to register it because they might be in subspace. So when you do suspensions, things are higher risk, but also extremely intense. Like the beauty of just someone floating in the air. I had someone, a friend, she tried it, and then as I was suspending her, she just started crying, and I knew that was okay. And then only afterwards, and then she was calming down, and we had a really good, intense, intimate session. It was really nice. But it then when we talked about it afterwards, then she was, man, this is crowded, this planet. She was saying that just as she was being suspended, she realized how few men in her life she had actually trusted, and then she became sad that she had lived a life where that men were not someone she could trust, and then how she had to trust me entirely because she was literally putting her life in my hands, very very physically. And that was just such a beautiful moment of her realizing that that was something really deep for her, that trust in men is something that she generally does not have, probably for good reason. So all of this is now limited in the sense that they are not going to be respawning a lot. They'll only have like whatever they have remaining here, but there might also be still a lot of crap coming in. I'll take these guardians out. Get them all out. Yeah, so a lot of interesting emotions can happen. It's not just about sex. It's it's also about, like, it can be therapeutic. It can be opening up old traumas, and for better or for worse. So it can be super emotional. It's getting a little bit intense here. Weird how they don't stay out. I mean, is that because they died too quickly? And it's almost never about... Ooh. Oh, autosave. I probably should have taken a save before diving in there. Oh, I'm not shooting anymore. Shit. Is it the final Dyson Sphere on the black hole? No, it's not the final one. It's just one more. I just felt that this was a good time to get that sorted. Because we had a lot of... yeah, a lot of... What's it called? Ships in our inventory, so why not spend it on going out? Let's see if we can take some of these out now. Yes, we can. Funny how the sound just disappeared, but that's because it's only my sound. They don't make sounds, those, for some reason. Have you felt a difference in connection between trying standing up versus kneeling? I find that standing is more distant while it's more intimate if both are kneeling. Oh, you mean when tying? I think they can do different things. I always start kneeling because then you can sit and hold and you can sort of manipulate them and you can tie it. So I generally tie most of the stuff kneeling, but it's easier to tie when standing. But I do like standing for predicaments, obviously. So basically, you can do you can tie something ready, and then you can raise them up, and then you can start sort of raising them up so they're standing on their toes, and then you can just take one leg up, and then there's more of a predicament where if they lean on the ropes, then that hurts, or if they're standing on the toes, then that's exhausting, and then that strains the focus. So there's no time to think about anything and just being present. So yeah, for predicaments, I like standing. It's also very aesthetic. But yes, you're very much more connected when kneeling, I feel. Oh, they're dying quickly. We're running out? We're actually, yeah, kind of running out because it's a little bit crowded place we got here and I'm not shooting very much at all. Well, the thing is, this is only like the second hive we actually start munching on, but we also know that it's the first hives that are the difficult ones. And what was the last thing I wanted? Something else I was running out of. Don't know. I thought there was something else. Oh yeah, the missiles. Oof, 2,000. Ouch. Well, low on corvettes too. Yes, very much so. I guess we just replenish stock now. Don't think I need the other ones, but let's get 1,000 more corvettes. Damn. Okay, might as well just go in and take these out while we're here. And it's also going to take a while for them to get here. Alright, so how many hives do we think there is on this planet? I see the one that's called 29 here. That's the highest one. And it says assembling, but they won't be able to assemble anything because they just don't have the power because we warned them out of power here. Oh, get back here. Damn, they engaged everything. How are we doing here? In progress. Very not full yet on... we keep picking stuff up. Come on, get over here. Get back. Okay, guess we're not going back. Only forward. Okay, are they coming now? Yeah, I think so. Yes. So now the next part is getting stuff out again. Okay, and then that. And this one. They get picked up immediately, so that's good. This will probably not. You go in. And then this goes in. And that gets built up here. Cool. Let's go out. Kill some. And shoot the Dark Fog can shoot the planet from space. Why can't we? Because they are more advanced than we are. And I think it's totally fine. Otherwise, there would be really no point in ever having anything here. But then, if you look at it the other way around, then each of these would also have anti-air batteries. That means that when you're approaching a planet, then they would just shoot you out of orbit. So, you know, it goes both ways. They can't shoot up, but we can shoot up. But they can shoot down, but we can't shoot down. So there's some kind of balance there. It is really nice just taking out the relay stations, and then we just know, okay, they are not replenishing. Whatever is dead keeps being dead. Gotta head to sleep. All right, but that kernel was very interesting. You opened my mind to a new thing. Awesome. Well, if thank you for joining, and if you if something resonates, or if there's questions comes up or something like that, or you want more depth, then by all means you're welcome to ask. I do love these questions and conversations. There's only so many times you can talk about how you kill yet another hive in orbit in this game, right? So if we can talk about something else while we do this, then that's even more fun, at least for me. And of course, the people who left, well, they didn't like it, but oh well, that's how it is. Gonna take I'd like to see a shield bubble and healer craft. Yes, I'd like to see a tank, like slow, strong one where it's like, oh shit, here it comes. So that there would be some variation, like instead of just more. Also in terms of just performance-wise, fewer bigger units are probably also a good idea instead of adding a new class of millions of small units. Oh, I like the fact that there are many deposits here. Well, many. I don't know how that actually... Resistant missiles. How do you get started? Is in-person course recommended, or is exploring with online resources sufficient? On the whole rope thing, you can definitely get by with a lot of stuff just from online resources. But that can only get you to a certain level, is my opinion at least. And a lot of it can be experimenting, following people on Instagram, and well, YouTube is pretty dead for that until I start my channel. And because there might not be an option for these kind of things, to have both. Like, I take private lessons from one of the best in Denmark, and that's probably someone who's really, really good. So by any standard, and that's not an option by both in availability and in from a cost perspective. And then my model is also extremely experienced, so I don't have to be worried that she cannot take care of herself. She can absolutely take care of herself. Which is also great for my learning experience, the fact that I don't have to also think like, oh, is she okay, and is this okay for her? So I think getting started and just, if there are workshops on for beginners, that kind of thing, then definitely go to those, because then you can get instructed and get some feel to it. Because if you think about, if you see something on Instagram or on YouTube, you are only seeing the technical side, and that's not the point. But you can't really teach the intimacy, but that's the stuff you can see in a workshop and go like, ah, yeah, that really worked. Oh, that's cool. And oh, I can really see that they enjoyed it, or something like that. And I think that's actually probably the most important thing to learn, because, and if you want to look for oh yeah, shit, I actually tried it. Ishinava is the easiest, best start, but I haven't found any resources on it, which sucks. Because the point of Ichinava is that you use, Ichinava means one rope, so you only tie with one rope, and you don't really tie any knots. You basically just tie a loop around the hand, and you just kind of fold it together and just wrap around it. So it doesn't take any technical knowledge, and it can still be super nice. And you can get the whole experience of that intimacy just with a single rope, and just in 10-15 minutes, and without knowing anything except like a normal square knot or something. Yeah, so that's so I would also say, definitely say, if you have options of in person, then definitely that's the best, but that might not always be an option, and I don't think that should be sort of putting you off from just getting started. If you have someone to play with, then you go like, hey, let's buy a rope, and don't use nylon rope. I know a lot of YouTube videos use nylon rope, especially Americans, and Instagram. It looks great, but it's fucking awful. You have to be careful about the burns, and because the rope is so slippery, then it's really hard to tie knots that don't slip. And when you tie a knot, it can tie itself to a degree where it's really difficult to untie it again. So jute rope is the best, in my opinion. That's natural rope, whatever you want. Hemp rope is very coarse, so probably not a good starter option. Definitely do not touch cotton. Cotton is the worst. Don't ever touch cotton, because cotton stretches, and you do not want rope that stretches. Yeah, cotton is stretchy. Cotton is absolutely atrocious, because as it stretches, that means that it will tie itself into knots you can't untie. Bungee cord, yeah. I'd say jute rope. I have to spell it because that's a jute. There you go. Yeah, That's definitely my. I touched other ropes and went like, ew. Not tied with them. And nylon rope looks so good. It looks so good. But the feeling is more important than the looks. And the safety. It's just the thing that you have to always be aware of burns. That's not a great thing to do, sort of be with nylon rope. Yeah. And safety shears you can kill off. It's a good idea to have safety shears. I'm not going to argue against having safety shears, but I also talked to the guy who's teaching me, and he said, like, I have safety shears and I've been tying for 15 years and I've never used them. If there is a problem, if you start cutting rope, you don't know what's going to happen, because it's just going to cut. It goes from 100% tension to no tension instantly, and that's how you drop people on the ground. While if you untie fast, you know exactly where the rope is going. And of course, if you did something you can't untie, but you can probably get someone out almost as fast by untying, if you have not sort of wrangled up a lot of weird things. So cutting a rope can just also lead to other things, but have it, because it doesn't hurt to have a safety shear. But in most cases, it'll probably be safer to just bring them down quickly and untying your knots, because you tied them, you know how they work, you know how to untie them, and you can also go into and most of the time you don't need to sort of get them completely free unless it's like a panic attack, but you just need to relieve the pressure. If someone goes like, I really want to get down, then just take them down. It doesn't matter if they come down in 10 seconds or 20 seconds, but dropping them on the ground is not going to give them a great end of the experience. So yeah. On the farm, why not quantum chips? Because quantum chips is something I can produce. Now I'm producing 60 quantum chips per second, and they are proliferated. So having something extra that I don't know if I can consume, I don't know. It wasn't very high quantity, and then it kind of just got a little bit stuck. So yeah, controlled fast untying is probably safer than start cutting random ropes. Also because you have no experience cutting rope, you have a lot of experience untying rope. So yeah. Oh, we are really talking shibari here. Yes, that is what we do. It is not the first time and it's not the last time. We are talking yep. Just arrived and it wasn't out. Yeah, but you know what we're talking about. So welcome. I mean, what? For me, I'm actually. I know a lot of people say shibari, but for me, I like kinbaku better. Got experience? I wouldn't suggest cutting rope on someone suspended, of course, but if someone is learning, it's a good idea to have. Definitely, it's a good idea to have. Like, it's not arguing that it's not a good idea to have. It's just that in most cases, if you want to bring someone out, I would lean towards untying fast than. Oh no, that's bad. Well, okay, it's only silicone, but at least this one should be safe, or should be within the main. There we go. We have liberated this planet. And there. Oops. Yeah. More precise about ground tying stuff, but shibari is a more popular term. Yeah. I suppose you have to treat jute rope, right? It reminds me to scratch trees for cats. Yeah, yeah. But I think that actually my scratch tree for cat is hemp. I think it's at least more coarse. But yes, some kind of treatment or just wear and tear is also good. And let's go on all of these. Tag them and just go around plugging the holes here. And then there's also the point that, oh, if you don't treat the ropes, they're going to be uncomfortable. Like, fuck yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. But there are so many other things about it that's going to be uncomfortable that it's a weird place to draw the line of just like, oh, you're going to be in excruciating pain, but we don't want you to be uncomfortable. Of course, there's different types of being uncomfortable, but yeah. Do you post pictures on Instagram? Maybe I thought, nope, I don't. I'm very private about it. Also, the lounge I'm part of, it has a very, very strict policy about no cameras. That is immediate exclusion, except for very specific camera days. So I do have pictures, but they are for when I do my private sessions, and then they are for me to sort of remember what the hell we did. So for practice, like when we learn some new Thai, then I take pictures of it. But I'd like to create a YouTube channel. But you know, as everyone who's ever wanted to create a YouTube channel, there's a 99% chance that it's not gonna happen because, yeah, there are many good ideas. Still a lot of these. We should have looked at the beginning before we started plugging these holes to see how many we actually have here. How many? 36 is a number. I suggest would find it funny if Organ is that guy on Instagram. Ah, right, yeah. But nope, not yet at least. It's also one of those things where, as always, when you are considering starting content creation, there's this whole thing like, am I good enough? Because you're thinking like, oh, there's always going to be someone better. Like, there is, yes, but that's not necessarily means that they'll do it. They might be more skilled, but they might not be communicating in it in just the right way. And I honestly think that, granted, like my factorial tutorials and such are like, I have a good preparation and a pretty good base for doing tutorials on something technical like tying, like shibari, right? Because like, I know how to script and structure and explain complex topics, because, you know, that's kind of what I do. Oh, this one's not gonna work. Go, go, go. Take a blueprint. Yes, that's a good idea. We'll just take a blueprint. Just for curiosity on how many spots were actually. We could also just assume that we probably had started this with 50 in inventory and now we have 18, so that's probably 32. That doesn't make sense. $36. Okay. There was one that's... Oh, right. Yeah. I heard Speed Frank, but I see Jude is treated much the same way. Throw it in the washing machine at 95 degrees. You get that comment. Oh, there we go. Funny. And after drying, work some oil. I used jojoba oil into it. Yeah. So you just expulsed the dark fog from this planet. Yes, I did. I did. What's jute rope? It's... This is jute rope. This is my rope. I have 8 of these. Another bite. So, yep. That's not related to Dyson Sphere. Oh yeah, and I only tie with red rope because it looks fucking awesome. Pastry white Danes with black lingerie and red rope. Good combination. Admire the passion and level of knowledge you have towards your interest. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's kind of, I don't like doing things like I would say half-hearted, but if I go into something, then I'd rather have fewer hobbies that I'm really into than many things that I'm a little bit into. I like the depth. It's the same with games. Like if the game is not worth spending 100 hours on, then is it really worth even getting started on? I know that's a little bit of a harsh judgment. There can be lots of exceptions to that, but I excel at games that have so much depth that you still learn things after 1,000 hours. Borrowing fractal silicon? Yeah, fractal silicon is not very valuable. Even though it is 1.8 million, but it's not really valuable. You don't really need a lot of it. So, yeah. I didn't have it before, so whether I don't have it now, it doesn't really matter. It came for the Dyson Sphere, stayed for the ropes. Indeed. It's a part of Nero's being into BDSM. That's also much respect. Thank you. Well, I think I would rather take the respect for being open about it than being into it, because there's a lot of people into it and it's still taboo. So by being into it and open about it, hopefully we can alleviate the taboo, right? We can normalize just a little bit at a time. Ah, right. This pit. We're going to bury that one for a bit. It's going to be unburied. Don't worry. You have a paddle link for a rope reader? No, I don't. But thank you for asking. Let's see what else is not coming in. That one. And just a little bit of this. Send some of those to US. I'm sure you can buy those in the US as well. There are quite some skips with sell, but you can get jute or hemp at your next Home Depot or similar thing. You'll have to test it yourself, but there's a good tutorial out there on the internet. Yeah. Here's another thing that I thought was trivial, but isn't. What are these called? Carbines? I thought this was a trivial thing that you... Yeah. Carabiner. Okay. These. So I thought you could just go to your local Home Depot and buy those. And then I was told, no. You have to get them from mountaineering or from rope shops, not from your local Home Depot. Oh. Yeah. And the reason is the cheap ones, they are molded together, and then there could be a little bit of a ridge here, and that's just gonna cut your rope. And if you buy stuff for mountaineering, then it's not gonna have those ridges. And those are the kind of things where I go like, so many details, right? There are so many details that are just like, oh shit, yeah, that's a good point. Oops, I also forgot to set that up. It's a good point about Twitch. Yep. And those are the things that it's super obvious once you know it. But before I was like, I said it like, yeah, I suppose I'll just buy those in the local hobby. Was like, no, you don't. You buy them here. I was like, no, you buy them here on the mountaineering shop because of this. And we're like, oh yeah, fuck, that's a good point. So I think that's just, there are so many things. Like I was know someone who wanted to do some self tying, and they're like, yeah, that's fine. And I was like, but you're not gonna do any suspension, are you? It's like, oh, why not? Like, because you don't know what you're doing. You don't do suspension, self-suspension. That's super risky because there's no one to take you down, and especially if you don't know what you're doing. Like, it's not trivial. Like, oh, but no, don't. Yeah, self-suspension is sus. Yeah. I would say if you should do self-suspension, you should do it at a lounge or a club or somewhere where there's someone else if you get yourself tied up. Yeah, it's not for asphyxiation. No sane person would do that around the neck. But then again, yeah. Um, but you can just, if you don't, like, I was just giving her an example, like if you tie a knot and if I tie a knot around your hands and I pull the rope, put pressure on it, it's not gonna be tighter around your wrist. It's not gonna tie it. But do you know how to tie that? And I was like, no. There we go. So you might tie something, and when you put weight on it, it just tightens, and you can't untie it because now it's too tight. Like, oh shit. I didn't think of it. Yes, that's why. Yeah. Also only about 10-20 euros, so it's not a big expense to get the safety and peace of mind. Exactly. It's a cheap thing, so why skimp on it, right? Where's my... Oh yeah. There we are. These ones. Do we have enough of that? Yep. Oh, right. I forgot to set the output. Good. And now the other ones should light up. Perfect. Off we go. Oh, here's the problem. That one needs to go. So this nice and peaceful little planet here, it's now ours, and it's the richest planet in the universe. It has 5.5 million unipolar magnets. We're gonna need a few more of these before we really want to tap it. Yeah. So we're also kind of wrapping up on the stream for today. I wonder what's running out here for this. Could be anything. Hopefully not hydrogen. So it's been super interesting today to go a little bit deeper into talks about rope, and it's also really nice to see some people coming out of oh yeah, probably water. That's a good point, Fennick, because it's like half of it. people coming out of the woodworks with an interest and knowledge about this topic as well. So it becomes a little more back and forth. So I really appreciate it. And maybe there will also be someone who is sort of maybe had a fleeting interest, and now sort of it's a little less mysterious and weird and strange. One can hope. Oh, Dark Swarm is launching an attack. Well, it's not really around here. Yeah, but it's not going to be like every day we're going to be talking about that, obviously. But, you know, once in a while when we have to just spend half an hour or an hour on something trivial like killing bases, then it's good to have a topic of just conversation to dive into, which I really always enjoy. So thank you very much for participating in the conversations. Do we still have? These are all neutralized, right? Yeah. Yeah, they're all pretty much dead. Or dead. That one is dead. Now there's still all 5 of them left, which is weird. Oh. And remember, in terms of other gaming content, I have tomorrow off because Tuesday is pretty much permanently a rope day for me, and then I'll be back on Wednesday. So Wednesday and Thursday I'm going to be replaying Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, and I'm going to do that because I was hoping that Elden Ring DLC was coming out, and it's not anytime soon. So I'm really missing that kind of game for now. So I thought, you know, why not? I've been wanting to replay Sekiro for a long time, so let's just do it now. Don't have any other new games that are must play and will draw a big crowd, so let's just have a small crowd and do something that I've been wanting to play again for a while. So that's going to be like my filler. It'll be Factorio, Dyson Sphere, and then filling with Sekiro until we complete that. And then we'll do something else. And maybe we'll replay Elden Ring in preparation for that. Need to finish the sets 2 and 3 of my ropes and decide on a color. One will probably be a green set and the other, I don't know. Yeah, I'd like to have like different colors as well. Like maybe like a blue one, so it's nice contrast to the red. So you could do some Hishikarada and do nice patterns like that. I don't like the natural colored ropes. I know everyone has them, but being Danish, they're very, very much the same color as we are, and it's kind of boring that you can't really see that contrast of the rope. So I'm really happy about my red ropes. I mean, if I had the option, they'd be purple, right? There. This planet is now ours. Any new Dyson Sphere complete? We can take a look at it here. We'll definitely build something here, but I don't know what. Let's go through it. This one is complete. And look at the utilization. Isn't that awesome? Samagot. This one is... oh, so close to complete. 14,000 remaining. And that's being munched in here. So that's almost complete. Magmarel. This is complete. Skippy. That's the newest one. Definitely not complete. It also is needing a stupid amount of these. Maybe... no, actually it's not that bad. Like if they're all kind of 70% full, then it's good. Also 70% here, so yeah, not bad. That's the one of the newest one. Cube, this is the one we just added today, and we're not really absorbing so much, but this is also 9.8 million. Cybercraft. This is also a big one. It's not the same. It's a different pattern. Um, it's pretty big, but it's only barely getting started here. Almost done with it. Well, almost. And Baba Joe, this is the biggest one, I think, but it's also like really slow on absorbing because there are just not enough squares. So this one will just take forever. But I could have an extra launcher. And then the last one. So we're getting a decent number. We also need a name for this one, but we'll get it. Looks like the IQ doesn't get sales. Oh, there are. They're here. It's just because it's so big that it... There. I couldn't get the square smaller. Or even get that bad. Oh, no. Oh, guy, it isn't getting rockets. That's true. But we're just because we're a little bit starved on rockets. We're also just starting way too many. So we are also seeing that rockets were kind of dropping off. So it's not because it's not it's simply because we're consuming more rockets than when we're producing, which is not a big surprise because it's easy to shoot the rockets into space and it's a hell of a lot more difficult to build them. Anyway, that's gonna be wrapping up for us for the stream. Thank you very much for a very nice stream. It was not exactly like the most massive hype trains we've ever seen, but it was a enlightening conversation, and that was enlightening. Yeah, enlightened conversation. So thank you very much for that. I will see you guys on Wednesday. If you don't know what Sekiro is, come join and see if that might be something for you. Because that's the first time when we start up the new series on that. Thank you very much for watching. Good night, take care, and stay effective.